Hello, everyone. How are you on this lovely Friday, last Friday of July? I am, of course, Christine Gritmon, and this is, of course, Let's Talk About Brand. As you can see on my shirt and on my handy-dandy mug, I never plug my merch. Seems like a good time to remind you that I've got it. Hey, Andrew, how you doing? So anyway, I'm Christine Gritmon, and I am here on Let's Talk About Brand every single Friday, right now, 12 noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. British Time. Let me know what time it is where you are. Also, let me know if you are joining us live or on the replay, and if you're joining us on Facebook or Twitter. Today's a very special show. Every show is a very special show, but today in particular, it is the last show of season 1 of Let's Talk About Brand. I hosted a Facebook Live show for years before this called Social, but then last September, I decided I really wanted to focus in on branding, especially personal branding. So I started this show, Let's Talk About Brand, and its companion Twitter chat on Tuesdays at noon, Chat About Brand. And it has just surpassed my wildest expectations. I've been loving all the conversations I've had with you, the audience, and also with my special guest stars on the show. I'm taking an August hiatus. I always take an August hiatus, but I will be back and better than ever in September for Let's Talk About Brand Season 2. So make sure to mark your calendars for that. Chat About Brand on Tuesday, September 7th, and Let's Talk About Brand on Friday, September 10th. But right now it is Friday, July 30th, and we have a fantastic guest today, Maria Elena Duron. She is a Grow with Google trainer. She's also a digital marketer, an author, a journalist, a trainer, just all these great things. But today we're going to be talking about one of her particular areas of expertise, which is Google, of course. In particular, Google My Business, but in general, there are a whole bunch of tools that Google has, most of which are totally free, that so many people and brands are just not using, and they could really be helpful. Yes, Tim, I am allergic to August. It's a true fact. It's just too darn hot. No, August is when I re-strategize, so I come back bigger and better than ever in the fall. Anyway, Google My Business. What can it do for you? What other tools are available? We're going to find all about that right now from our guest, Maria. Hey, Maria.
Hey, Christine. Hello, hello. Thank you for having me here, and I'm so excited to see you.
Thank you for being here. And fun fact, the way that I found Maria, the way I found you, Maria, was when I was strategizing last August and was thinking about my chat and my show. I had to come up with a name for it. And so I was searching various names, various hashtags. The first hashtag I thought of for my chat was brand chat. And I was like, oh, there's already a brand chat. And that is something that you used to run. I'd like to actually hear like 2 seconds about brand chat, what it was. It should totally come back, by the way.
In fact, yes, we're going through right now the brainstorming of what we can recreate brand chat to be. So brand chat actually started in 2008. And it's funny, Christine, because it started because I was new to Twitter and I had a whole but 3 followers. And I thought, okay, let's just all chat together about things that are on our mind. We were all working within some sort of branding or brand development. And so that's how it came about. Now, beforehand, I'd actually moderated a chat that Sarah Evans and Peter Shankman had run, which was Duron chat. So I knew about chats, and I thought it would be a great time for all of us to get together and talk. And it just grew from there. That was in 2008. And every Wednesday at 10 o'clock Central, we would have the chat every week. And that went solid for 12 years. So we really just ran that chat. And then it became a little bit more sporadic as we tried to figure out how we can recreate it and rebrand it, if you will, but not just a rebrand, but really put together the format that makes people feel like they're getting valuable information. So I am absolutely excited about wanting to bring brand chat back, but it was such a core to all the connections I've made. You see the hat in the back here? Let's see, over here, yep. Right there. That's a brand chat Brandito cap. So every chat, we would award a Brandito cap to anybody who was the most, who really just became the most involved, most ambassador, really the best ambassador out there for us, talking about brand, helping everybody out in the chat, helping answer questions, or if we overlooked a question as moderators, then they would make sure that we saw that. So it was just an exciting time to talk about branding, and it still is an exciting time to talk about branding. So I'm so excited that Chat About Brand is here. I got to spend a lot of time this week looking at the chat, and just I see it all the time. I get a chance to actually run in and look at your summaries, which I love. So I'm amazed at what you actually are doing with your chat. So bravo.
Thank you. Such a huge part of that, actually. Credit goes to Jeremy and Abby Lindbergh at Wholesome Media, bringing them on to help keep the conversation going, to help me schedule the tweet questions. I write the questions, but they've just really taken so much off my plate so that I can spend that entire hour being present and engaged, and it's been lovely. The only reason they're not here today is because they are on a well-deserved vacation right now.
It's time for hiatus, and you're smart to do that. I think that, that is something we didn't take breaks in Brand Chat. That was really, really tough to do. And it was tough because you've got a good team and we had great moderators, but beforehand, it was just kind of me trying to do all of this on so many different devices. You know how that can be.
Yes. I'm a little terrified people won't show up on September 7th, but I know they will. And I'm going to keep people engaged throughout August, so it'll be totally fine. Kathy Ann says, hey.
Hi, Kathy Ann. She's a Brandito. She absolutely is.
We like brand people over here. All right, so let's jump in. This week, every week, the chat on Tuesdays, by the way, on Twitter, Chat About Brand, is always about the same topic as our Friday show. So this week's topic was branding with Google, and we definitely saw that so many people are either unaware of Google My Business or anything like it, or they're aware of it, they just haven't claimed their listing, or they're like me, they are aware of it, they claimed their listing, but because it's not as constant as social, we're not swimming in it all day recreationally the way we are with social, it can kind of fall off our radar. So I'd love to hear from you. First of all, tell us what the heck Google My Business even is and who it's for.
Sure. So the business profile on Google Search and Maps is absolutely for somebody who wants to make sure that they're visible when people are looking for them. Primarily, it was built for people with brick and mortar stores or who maybe had an office space and it's by appointment only. But it really has expanded out now that I even work with home-based businesses, and home-based businesses can absolutely excel at having and using their Google My Business profile. So even though it's Google My Business profile, internally we call it business profile by Google Search and Maps, so you'll hear me refer to it quite a bit. I'm talking about the same thing. But what that is then it gives everybody the opportunity to find you when they're searching for you online, when they need your product, service, or solution. So you want to be found and you want the correct information to be found. This is your opportunity to make sure that information is correct. So whether you are meeting with people, where you're going out to a cafe, or you're meeting with them online, or you're meeting with them and you're headed out to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, or wherever that you go and connect, then you could still consider that you're doing your business. If you have a co-working space, you don't have to advertise or publish your address. You can absolutely put that this is your service area, but it gains that visibility and makes sure that your information is correct across all devices, which is what I love about the business profile, because it adjusts quickly to however anybody is searching. And that's really key, is to be there at the moment when somebody has a need for you or needing that information.
Now, being there is, of course, very important, but how do we make sure that we actually turn up? Because I know that when I check, I Google my name, and I love the fact that it's such that my little Google My Business profile is there on the sidebar. It's such a prominent part of my digital footprint. But how can we ensure that people who maybe don't know us by name are able to find us on Google My Business without having to pay a ton for Google AdWords or anything?
Exactly. No, and the tool is 100% free. Just so that you know, it's 100% free. Of course, you could pay somebody to do the content if you want them to do that. You don't want to do that or write that, or to even do the photos or the 360 video. But let's say you can manage it yourself. And in fact, most businesses do manage it themselves. What you can do to really turn up that volume and that visibility is to, first of all, think about how your customers search. I mean, I know we talk about this a lot whenever we're talking about branding and any digital marketing, but you have to think about when they know your name or your product or service, how they're searching for you. What are they looking for? And then when they don't know your name, but they know that there's a product or service that can serve them, how are they looking for you? What are the words that they're using, or the phrases? Because people are speaking their search now. They say, hey, Google, hey, Alexa, and they speak it out. So it's not just keywords at all. It's absolutely complete phrases. And then the third thing is to really think about, if they don't know your name and they don't know that you have a product or service that can serve them, how are they searching for you? What solution are they looking for? That's truly key. A lot of times we think that people just search for us when they have a need. And that's what's known as the looking zone. So when you're in the looking zone now, you're just going through a plethora of people and searches. But if you can get in steps before the looking zone and know what they're looking for, that really does optimize where you're showing up. It also positions you to show how valid and credible you are. And now you have the opportunity to come in as a trusted advisor or a trusted business, and we'll step over dollars, which we would just consider when we're shopping. If we're at the looking zone, we're now shopping by commodity and we're determining people and businesses by dollars. Now we actually have an alliance and a trust, and people will, as we know, the old saying goes, people will do business with people they know, like, and trust, and they will step over those dollars to do that. So it really is understanding that. And then look at your description. So as you understand that, now look at your description. You have 750 characters to match what people are looking for, and it's not set in stone. You can absolutely move and change that. But maybe you want it to be very consistent with your brand, because of course we all know, we people who talk about branding know the importance of consistency, and that consistency builds trust. So maybe you don't want to change that description. You've got a profile photo that really does depict where you're at. It does the, as far as where you're at or what you are or who you are, so they'll find you. And then you have your cover photo. So you can absolutely designate those different photos. We're very visual, and we want to make sure that we have a lot of photos up there. Now, a lot of times people will struggle with what photo goes up there at the very top, and I know that does happen. I wish it didn't, but the reality is it does. And a lot of times my recommendation is just flood the photos with all of your photos that you have, so they will rise to the top. And then now look at your post. A lot of people do not understand that Google My Business actually has a posting feature, and you can put together a complete posting strategy that will match what those people are looking for. And a quick tip, Christine, is just to take a look at, let's say you search your name or you search your industry, and look at the very bottom of the or first organic page of a Google search, and look at the very bottom, the related search terms. That's in real time, actually active keywords that are happening right now. So if you want to use those words in any of your posts, or even what you're posting on social, because we're not all on Facebook, TikTok, or IG, or Instagram, we're not all there. So maybe you want to make sure that you just get that visibility, and you can use the posting structure for that.
So many people, even who have claimed their Google My Business, don't realize that you can actually create posts. And I love your tip there about easy, quick hashtag research. Related hashtags. It's probably in like that small type. It's gray, maybe, but it's there, and it's there for us to use. And the fact that so many people miss it means that you'll stand out if you don't miss it.
Yes.
So let's back up just a little bit. How do you claim your Google My Business listing? How do they know it's actually you?
Sure. So how you can claim it is, first you go to google.com/business, and you'll put in the name of your business. Understand it's searching all over the US. So you'll see a whole lot of businesses come up, and you'll choose the one that's yours if it's already been claimed, because a lot of times, even if you haven't put your profile online, what happens is somebody's checked in at your location, or they gave you a review, or just something happened where they, it could even be an employee or a friend who put you there. And what you need to do is now go claim that. So if you're showing up there, you need to claim that. Again, looking at the address in the city that's there. If you're not there, now it's time to enter yourself in and make sure all that information is correct. Do understand you do not want to make a typo in this and then send it in for verification and now realize you need to make an adjustment, or you'll be in a horrible verification loop, and we don't want you there. We need you to be as visible as possible, as quickly as possible, because you need people to come do business with you. And that is making sure you have that information correct. Then as you go through it, what you'll do is you'll actually have what's known as the postcard validation. So the postcard verification. The postcard verification. I'm just so excited to talk about this. I'm trying to say it all at once. but the postcard verification is the way you can verify your profile right now. So it is sent to a location that you can receive mail. It cannot be a P.O. box, but where you can receive mail, and now you can claim and verify you received it, because you'll get a 5 or 6 digit code in there that you'll have to put in to finish the actual claiming of your profile. So you'll start the process, have the postcard sent, and then that's what you'll do, is put the code in. Now, I do realize a lot of places, a lot of people have P.O. boxes. They don't want their address to appear. So what I would recommend is, first of all, you can choose whether or not your address appears. You would actually, in step 4 of the process, you are presented with a question of, yes, you want people to come to your location, or yes, you want, or no, you are actually delivering products or services to your client's location. So as you see me right here talking to you, I'm delivering my service of being able to be information to you at your location. So consider it that way, that you don't have to show your address, but you do need to reveal the address for the postcard to show up. Now, I've worked with lots of different organizations. I worked with a community theater that they absolutely had a physical location, right? And you're not going to be able to do theater without being able to bring everybody around somewhere to be able to see the play. But they had a P.O. box and they didn't have any place to receive their verification card. What the executive director did is he went ahead and sent that postcard to his home address, but he checked on that step 4 that no, he did not want to be able to show his address, but he did deliver products and services to his customers or clients' location. He did that so it would mask not publishing his address. He still got the verification card, verified the code, so now he's the owner. Once you're the owner, now you can make changes and updates. Don't try to do that before you're officially claimed and verified as the owner. And then what he did is he was able to actually put the physical address in, because of course he wanted people to come to the theater.
I love that. That is so key. I actually first claimed mine back when I had an office, so that was good. And then my legal business address moved to my home once I gave up that office. For a little while there, Google insisted on showing a street view of my house. But I did clear that up with them. They do have support. They will talk to you. So you mentioned doing some basic keyword research and making sure to include some of those words in your listing and in your content. I'd love to hear a little bit more about how we can make our profile work for us, the content we can post. There's also a review section. Tell us a little bit about how we can make sure that this is a living, breathing part of our digital strategy and not just kind of a placeholder.
Right, absolutely. And I'm so glad you asked, because there is so much that you can do. So we talked about the description, and then of course you're going to put your information and your website, linking to your website. Put all of that information and you'll just follow along with the fill in the blanks. But what you can do to optimize it, what's so exciting is you can do posts. So right now, COVID-19 posts. So you can choose the different types of posts. Let me back up there a minute and talk about the different posts, because there's a COVID-19 post, a what's new post, product, service, event, or offer. The what's new post, which a lot of people do post on Google My Business, is absolutely an update of what's happening. It could be new employees, something's coming in the back, and you want to give them a little view of what's actually coming in. You can utilize video. We utilize the same time and actually dimensions that you're using for an Instagram post. So you can use a video that you're using in an Instagram post and post it here. But you give them a little sneak peek and it stays visible on Google Search and Maps for 7 days. But now when you look at the other posts, for example, a product post, the same thing, it'll last about 7 days unless you're doing an actual product listing. If you do a product listing, it'll stay longer and it'll be there underneath. So you could do both. You can highlight, let's say, the newest product that just came in, but here's your whole gamut of the different variations of, let's say you're a spa and you have different lotions or different massage services. So it's not just products, it's services as well. Now you also have event posts, and that is, for example, Christine, we're having this event today, and because it could be put as a post, you could use that as a Google My Business post, and it will stay live until the event actually happens. So it doesn't have that 7-day limitation. It will be whenever you put it on till the day it actually happens, gaining you more visibility. And then also the same thing with offers. If you have a special offer, it will stay visible until that offer actually expires. So if it doesn't expire till next year or next month, it will stay on there and be visible too. So you can gain a lot of visibility, since not everybody is on all of the social networks, but they often go to Google and they search in Google when they are very purpose-driven and looking for something, and you could show up there. Now, another post that I like to share with people who are especially wherever I'm at chatting, and that is, the COVID-19 post, because the COVID-19 update, first of all, has an extra special love from Google. It actually has a little bit more oomph and is pushed to the top of organic search. Plus, it's visible for 28 days. That's very different from the 7 days that a What's New post actually looks and is visible. So with the COVID-19 post, the businesses that I chat with, I tell them, be creative. It could be, we have masks available at our location. Dora and Rena are here to help you. And we also have chicken pot pie on special. So they're actually for broadcasting and sharing their specials, but also talking about how their place is safe and how they've made sure that they meet people at whatever comfort level they feel as they're becoming, wanting to do their business or becoming more active in being able to go out to be able to do business with a bunch of small businesses. So that is what you can actually do. Get creative with a COVID-19 post. And I see a lot of businesses that are taking advantage of it who I've actually chatted with, who are seeing a lot of good visibility from that because it does get so much more emphasis from the algorithm and is showing up higher in search. Then there's also Q&A. So you can utilize Q&A. Q&A is one of my favorite because you as the owner of the business can put in your own questions. So think of what are the top 5 questions that you get asked, or whenever somebody is starting or looking for your business, what is it that they're looking for? Put those 5 questions in. Make the answer one of the answers. So you're going to put an answer there, or you could have several other people if you want them to come answer. But if you're wanting to position yourself as the expert in this industry, you'll answer the question. Now, what you're going to do is go out to reach to your network, reach out to everybody here within your chat network and ask them, hey, could you upvote that? Because it only needs 3 upvotes for now Q&A to show up at that bottom part. So now you're taking more of that real estate. If you're looking in search at your name, you've got that right side panel. You now have more real estate there if you put your products, your service, post, Q&A that you actually have. All of that is working together. Then, like Christine said, you have your online reviews. Manage your online reviews. That's very important. We all who are searching look and make decisions on whether or not we're going to do business with a business, whether they listen or not. Are there reviews there that have never been responded to? I'm going to give you a little hint. 97% of businesses do not say thank you for a good review. So you want to lift yourself up and stand out, be in that top 3% and say thank you for a good review. It's always a good time to say thank you. It's never too late for that. And then if you see other reviews, there are reviews that happen. I mean, you're going to get trolls, just ignore those. But the real reviews, be sure to Google Google's terms and conditions. You can use that flag, and they will also come up of why you can ask a review to be taken down. For example, if you've got a disgruntled employee, that's a conflict of interest, and you can ask for that review to be taken down. But really get good at responding to your reviews, and really get good at knowing how to respond to those negative reviews, because you'll get some. Anytime in business we do, sometimes it's just a request that comes out in a different format when somebody's making a negative review.
Yeah, in general, you always want to make sure to engage no matter where you are. That's the best way to make any sort of tool, as I said before, a living, breathing thing, as opposed to just kind of a static placeholder. Oh my goodness, we could talk about this all day long, and you do as a Google trainer. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, I did want to bring up 2 questions we did get from the chat this week. So first of all, Emodia, this is kind of in-depth, but he manages a bunch of Google My Business profiles. Sometimes he doesn't get the monthly reports for some on the email. That's kind of a specific question, but in general, how can you really make sure that you're managing this, and how can your Google My Business profiles connect with other Google tools to make managing your presence there easier and make sure you're maximizing its use?
Oh, it's a great question. And it is in depth because it depends on how you set up your profiles. But a lot of times, so just so that you know, you can manage 100 Google My Business profiles with one Google account. So a personal Gmail account is a Google account, or you can just go get a Google account. You don't have to have Gmail. But then what I would recommend doing is connect your Google My Business profile to Google Analytics. I'm very much a fan of, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. And so you need to be able to measure. You've got some insights in Google My Business, but you'll get a bunch of insights about analytics, and that's specifically about your website. I would also make sure that you're connecting that website in Google Search Console so you can index your site so Google sees your site. There's a huge myth out there that Google is the World Wide Web, and we're not. It's the biggest library of the World Wide Web. And so you as an entrepreneur, you can wait for Googlebot or the web crawler to go find you, or you can be very proactive and enter your information into the library, your books, your magazines, basically, your website, your blog, enter all of that into Google My Business's library or Google's library in Google Search Console. And then you can index and make sure Google sees you right away. They see everything that you're looking for and remove the things that you don't want Google to see. And then, of course, if you've got products, Emodia, you might think about Google, the Google Merchant Center, because you don't just do that for Google Shopping. Google Merchant Center you use to make sure your images and your products showing up in the images portion, or when people are utilizing Google Lens, especially here in the United States, it'll identify your product right away. And those are all free. So you get a little bit more visibility. And then, of course, you can always utilize YouTube. Anytime you can link all of these Google tools together, it actually is very good. So Google, the reason why we're out there and speaking so much for Google is because we know that people look to Google for information. And if the information is not correct, then they're not going to come to Google. So it really behooves us to go out and teach small businesses how to make sure their information is correct. And the more you spend time on Google and making sure your information is correct, the better you look to the algorithm and to Google, and the higher you show up in an organic search.
And I love your point about connecting YouTube, because so many people don't even realize that YouTube is a Google tool. A couple things that I use so often that I sort of forget are connected to Google are like Google Maps on my phone, Google Calendar, which I run my life by, and YouTube. So that is a very good point. One thing that is sadly no longer connected to Google is Amy asks, do you also have that recurring dream where Google Plus returns and all is right in the world? My feeling on Google Plus, I've said it before, is that they made the mistake of trying to roll out a social network the way they rolled out Gmail. Back in the day, if you had a Gmail, it meant you knew someone at Google. It was exclusive. It was fancy. In 2005, I remember getting my Gmail, and everyone was like, "How?" I feel like they missed the ball there, because the point of a social network is the people who are there. What do you see? Possibly, I'm asking you to look into your crystal ball as someone who's very familiar with what Google has currently, what they've done, where they're going. What do you think is kind of the next frontier for something like Google Plus that isn't Google Plus, but in terms of getting that sense of community there? Because I feel like it's the one thing they're sort of missing out on right now.
Sure. And that, I don't know. I can't tell you what the developers are doing because I don't know. They don't share that part with us, but I will tell you that I do know where the emphasis is. So the emphasis is going to be on the business profile with Google Search and Maps. There's a lot of resources and emphasis being put there. So you're talking about the right topic. You spent the time right today coming here listening, because you need to learn how to be able to up your game there. And that is definitely where Google's going to be spending a lot of their time, energy, and resources. And then look at YouTube, because a lot of people, just like you mentioned, Christine, they don't look at YouTube like it is a search engine. And it is. It's actually the #2 search engine in the world. Google's #1, YouTube's #2. All are owned by Google. So it's really important that you understand how search shows up if you want to be visible. And people need to be able to know you exist to be able to do business with you. So I would really understand and learn and YouTube, Google My Business and YouTube, because you want to understand the shorts. You want to understand how you can go utilize YouTube Live and create a community there when you're communicating with or talking about a specific topic. Be able to build that out within YouTube, and you're going to have more opportunity to do that. And that is where the two focus areas are for Google and where the resources are going to be. So you definitely want to be there ahead of your competitor.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much, Maria. This has been so informative. As happens every time I talk to one of my wonderful guest experts on this show, I want to just go and read you all my everything. So tell everyone where they can find you and how they can learn more.
Sure. You can go to KLI Brand, so that's KLIBRAND.com. Just head there or just click on my link here on my Twitter account. You'll see me. I'm Maria Duron, Duron. I do also have Maria Elena Duron, but I was more active in Maria Duron back in 2008, and that's where I built everything out. So you can find me there. And a lot of free webinars. So feel free to jump on a free webinar with a real quick how-to with Google My Business, how to optimize it, how to reach customers, how to use YouTube to grow your business, how to make better business decisions with analytics. Just have a look there, and we can even talk more about how you can use the website that comes with your profile to use that as a landing page to even drive more traffic your way. So feel free to take a look there or ask me here on Twitter. I'm happy to answer those questions.
I love that. And I saw you mention on Twitter, actually, you have a workshop, a live webinar coming up on this in August,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we have a live webinar talking about everything from how to actually put it together, how to claim it, and then how to now optimize it. So I go into depth into everything that we just talked about. But I've covered quite a bit here, so I'm excited that people just listening here have gotten so much value to be now more visible.
They really have. Thank you so much, Maria. This was
Oh.
awesome. And let me tell you, if you do bring back brand chat, I think that brand chat and chat about brand need to make sure to have some sort of nice synergy going where we pump each other up. I think that'll be great.
100%. I agree. Yes, that's a wonderful idea. I'm all for it.
Amen. All right, so this has been season 1 of Let's Talk About Brand. Thank you so much to all of you who have watched this episode, who have watched past episodes. All the episodes are out there, by the way, if you want to catch up before season 2. This is episode 45, so we've got quite a bunch in there for you. And let me know what you would like to see in season 2, whether it's topics, speakers, anything about the format of the show or the chat. I am all ears, and August is all about re-strategizing and coming back bigger and better when I come back for season 2 on September 10th. In fact, whoops, mark that date on your calendars. Friday, September 10th, I will be right back here, and I'm going to be on Facebook and Twitter like I've been before, but I'm also going to be simulcasting to LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, even Amazon Live, which is new for me. So, good luck avoiding me in September, you guys. No, but please do come back, and please do let me hear what you would love to hear in the fall. And thank you so much for being part of the wonderful Let's Talk About Brand and Chat About Brand family. Mwah. Bye-bye.